Hey friends, how are you? What you're about to see is a personal manifestation story. Sometimes a story is the best way to explain some law of attraction principles. And I realize that it's kind of on the long side, but I almost didn't put it up on YouTube. But if you've got a little time to sit through it, I think you'll get a lot out of it. And remember that if you have any questions or comments or any story that you have about how you've manifested anything, please put them in the comments below. And thanks again so much for watching. So let me tell you about what's going on. Today we're going to talk about your manifestation compass. Today we're going to talk about your manifestation compass. There's a lot to say about this. There's a lot to unpack about this. And as I said earlier, this is not about rules. This is not about dogma. This is about direction. This is about direction, right? So when you see me, when you hear me, when we talk, when we speak, when you listen, I am not giving you any rules. I'm not giving you any dogma. I'm not giving you any supposed tos. I'm not giving you any have tos. I'm giving you, hopefully, some direction, right? I'm trying to combine this with exactly what happened to me these last few days. So let me see if I can do that, and then you might be able to learn something. Okay, so I didn't broadcast yesterday. I took the day off. The day before was Halloween. I was meant to go out with some friends to have some dinner and get dressed up, and I didn't do that. On Saturday, the day before, I canceled my private classes that I do on Saturdays. And then on Friday, the day before, I was feeling in pain. I was having abdominal pain. So I was having abdominal pain. Now, this abdominal pain was very interesting because it's something that's kind of been recurring in my life. And I'll get bloated and I'll get like, oh, ow, ooh, ah, ooh, right? And I'll do what I need to do as far as, take apple cider vinegar. I'll do some stuff. And eventually it kind of goes away, right? So this time it was kind of the same. And Saturday was bad. And that's why I was like, oh, this is not good. I can't do a 2-show day. And when I run classes, I just think of them as a show on some level. So I can't do a 2-show day on Saturday. I was just like, it was crampy and ow, ooh, ah, it was bad. Sunday was like, it's kind of better. I did all my things I usually do. It was kind of better. Something inside of me was saying, I think you should have this checked out. I think you should have this checked out. Something was saying it. It wasn't that the pain was overwhelming. It was pretty bad, but it wasn't overwhelming. But something was going, maybe. Now, let me tell you this. One of the reasons why oh my God, this is a long story, but you're just going to have to stick with me. And we're going to get there eventually. One of the reasons why I don't really go see doctors very much here in New York is that I have insurance in California, where I lived in California. And that insurance is zero, free, and everything is paid for. The reason that I had have that insurance in California is that about 7 years ago, I almost died in California. It's probably a little more now. It's more than that, probably 8 or 9. And I went into a coma. It's a long story, but I made it through. I got very, 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 very sick, and they realized that my liver had an abscess in it, and it was a whole situation. And we don't know, but we believe that I got some kind of infection when I was in Belize, and that infection, it was in fresh water, and I had bites on my legs, and they think that it lodged in my liver. And then I suddenly was like, I was out and I got sepsis and I was almost dead. I went into a coma. It was a whole thing. And I did die and come back. So to give you, after all of that, this is a manifestation story. And if you've not heard it before, just listen up. I had just moved from New York to California. Follow me. From New York to California. And it was like 6 months that this all happened to be in California. I had let go of my private health insurance in New York because I was like, I'll get something in California. Well, I didn't. So it was in that lapse period. When this was all done, I was very, very ill. Very ill. And I had a walker. I was very weak. It was a big deal. Well, the bills started coming in. The hospital that I ended up being taken to was a hospital that specialized in people with low income or had no insurance. So they were like, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And this is right about the time that Obamacare started. So that's around, you can figure out the time. Well, I applied. Well, it kept coming in and the bills kept coming in. I kept coming in. It was like $350,000, something like that. It was a lot of money. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? Doesn't matter. I know everything's going to be fine. I'm going to apply for this. Everything's going to be fine. And I thought that I would get a discount or something. Well, ends up, I got accepted in California. I wasn't even a California resident and everything was paid. Plus, they put me on the California Medi-Cal system where I have free healthcare. And every year they just say, do you want to stay on? And I say, yes. They say, yes. Okay, of course. So I have free healthcare in California. So here's the deal. Now, this is going to come back to the manifestation compass. So the reason that I'm hesitant on some level to go to the doctor here is that I don't have health insurance in New York. But when I got so sick, I did a little research and I realized that actually my health care is across all the states and I can get out of state health care. So I was like, well, I manifested that. So I ended up going, and because I followed this intuition, I probably, even if I didn't find out, I would go to urgent care and I would find out whatever. I went to urgent care. They go, you have to go to the emergency room right now and get an abdominal scan because there's something going on, but we can't do it here. You have to go to the emergency room. I go there. Long story short, it ends up being that I have something called diverticulitis. I'm never even going to say it right. Diverticulitis. I'm not saying it right, but you know what I'm talking about. Well, I'm so thankful that I went. Thank you so much. I can spell it, but I can't. I can spell it, but I just don't know how to say it. So anyway, it's definitely something that's been happening for a long time. I believe that it definitely has something to do with when I was very sick, and then it kind of developed from there. Anyway, so I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy. Now, my pain is mucho better. I'm on antibiotics right now, and I still have pain, but it's not like it was. That's for sure. Rest, bone broth, soft food, all that kind of stuff, and I definitely feel better. You can tell my energy is okay. So what does this have to do with your manifestation compass? What does this story have to do with your manifestation compass? There was a niggling feeling. There was a niggling feeling that I had that I needed to not just let this time ride out like I had before. Something was telling me it's time to go do something. That little thing is your manifestation compass. Now, for a very long time, I ignored that manifestation compass. And, well, maybe it wasn't the right time to do it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I probably had been kind of getting that urge. But I was like, oh, no, I won't be able to go to the doctor because they're going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I mean, even though I'm not poor, I could pay, but I just didn't want to pay. Well, it just ends up being that little niggling feeling was telling me something. That little niggling feeling made me go on the internet and go, let me check this out. And then I was like, oh, wait a second. I actually should go, because at least the urgent care is going to be paid for and other stuff is going to be paid for. So why not do it right now? And I did it. And look, now I know. Now I have knowledge. This is why it's so important to know what's going on. You have to know a problem before it can be solved. So I was trying to treat a problem that I didn't even know was a problem. I thought it was just gas. I thought it was just, and here's another interesting thing. Just get what you can from this story. For the last couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks, I have been getting a manifestation compass, beep, 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 beep. Something in me was like, you need to research gut biome. You need to research your gut biome, because something in me was saying my gut biome wasn't quite right. And I was like, I need to stop drinking for a month at least and just kind of see what that does for a while. No, I have a few glasses of wine, and stuff. But I'm like, I need to just stop drinking for a while, see what that helps. So I started researching gut biome. I'm doing all this research for the last couple of weeks. I'm like, oh, yeah. And the apple cider vinegar and and everything. And then look what happens. Look what I manifested right towards me, a thing to make me get healed. A thing to help me to know more so that I can now have really good gut biome. You see how it all works? All these little things in your life that you have to go, oh, well, there's that, and then there's that, and then there's that. Now, here's the big deal, is that none of this felt like a should. None of this felt like you better go, otherwise you'll die. It all felt like, I think I should check that out. It was a little like the importance level went clicked up a little bit, but it wasn't like you're going to die if this happens. Boom, boom, boom. But I did think about my past and my liver situation. And I told the people at the urgent care about it, and they said, oh, if you've got that, you definitely should go get a CAT scan to make sure that everything's okay. But I didn't get it as a should. I got it as like, I think I should go. I mean, not should. I actually did say should, but it wasn't that feeling. That's important. That's important. It's not that you don't ignore that feeling if it's a should or I gotta go, but I want you to know that it's subtle. It's not always in your face. It's not always in your face. So your manifestation compass, this is talking about my health and how I deal with myself. So there was all these little things that led up to this. And this is not the end of the journey. There's never an end of the journey, because now I'm researching and I'm looking at my diet. I'm looking at exercise. I'm looking at my water intake. I'm looking at a lot of different things. And that means I've manifested, because I've been now let me tell you this too. I've been feeling low energy. I've been feeling blah. I've been feeling like, well, okay, blah, blah. And that's okay for a while, but I was like, okay, something. And this addresses all of those things too. Do you see? I always say to people when I'm teaching law of attraction, if you know the movie E.T., do you remember E.T. and the Reese's Pieces? Do you remember that? Where E.T. was like Reese's Pieces, plop, plop. It's exactly like that in your life. Your manifestation compass is like, oh, there's a thing. Oh, there's a thing. Oh, there's a thing. And then there's a thing. And then there's a little thing. It wasn't like, oh God, I really want to get healthy. I want to get healthy. Please give me some signs to make me healthy. Please give me signs to make me healthy. I was not doing that. I was just like, oh, I'd like to feel a little whatever. Let me research gut biome. Maybe I'll stop drinking for a while. I followed that little thing. Elle says like a little tap on your shoulder. That's exactly right. It's like a little tap. And it might come in a million different ways. I just told you the story about what happened to me. I'm sure this is listen, first of all, when you manifest something, you don't just get it. What I mean to say is that it's always in the process, right? So I had an unconscious, or that became conscious feeling, I want to feel healthier. I want to feel more good in my gut. I want to feel better in this area of my body, right? And so I was like, I had that kind of thing going on, but it was just a little thing. And now it will develop and I'll be like, oh, let's try that and this will work or this won't work or whatever. You know, it's a flow. The compass is always going like this. The manifestation compass goes, let's go this way. Okay, let's go this way. How about this? How about this? I'm going over here. Try this. Do this, right? Wow. It's like a tap on the shoulder. It's like a tap on the shoulder. That's very good, Al. Good to see you, Al. Becca, openness to development is key. Of course. It's very key, Becca, because in law of attraction, a lot of times people are like, okay, I want the job. And then they can manage to manifest the job. But then this is what happens. They go, I get the job. And then they go, okay, I got the job. They don't think that the job is just part of the development of you and your growth and your exploration and your expansion. We're going for an end result. That's a problem. You go for an end result. You think it's the end, but that's not how life works. Life works that it's a process. It keeps processing. It keeps going. It keeps growing. So this is why people think, this is why they say, be careful what you wish for. Because you go, I really want that partner. But you don't think, or you don't put it in context of the big picture. It's always the end. That's a bad thing. Don't ever say end result. Although people always teach end result, don't ever do the end result thing. You can say the same thing. Now, this is going to get a little complicated, but I'm going to tell you it anyway. You can be living as if you have that job already. That's the end result. But you don't say end result. You say, I am just someone that has that job. And from there's more things that are happening. You get it? The ego wants you to get across the finish line to win. There's no winning and there's no losing. There's no crossing the finish line. There is always trying to get there. Say that. It's all a process. Look at the big picture. This is why it's so good to be general sometimes. To be general. To be like, I just want to feel joy. I just want to feel love. I want to feel peace. I want to feel connection. Whatever it happens to be. And then from there's a million things that will come up that will be brought to you. Right? All right. What was I going to say? And it was good. Darn it. Let me think for a moment. Hold on a second, everybody. What was it that I was going to say? Look back at the comments. It might. I'll remember it. I'll remember it and I'll talk to you tomorrow about it. Carmen says, how do you properly manifest without getting the negative part of your manifestation request? Guess you need more clarity. Oh, thank you, Carmen. I manifested you reminding me of what I wanted to say. See, perfect. All right. So I'm talking about these whispers, these nigglings, these little taps on the shoulders, all these little things, right? So the challenge is that a lot of people have confused their taps on their shoulders or their Reese's Pieces or their nigglings. They confuse it with their ego. Do you understand? They confuse it with their ego. So they don't know that the little tap is the tap of love, of guidance, of healing, the ego will get in there and it will be the tap of something's wrong with you. You're bad. You have to go. Get to the doctor. Something's wrong with you. It could be the same message, but it's coming from a totally different place. Do you understand? And many times these messages, this is a whole other topic, but I'm going to say it really quickly. When people say, follow your gut feeling, I always say, don't listen to that. Because at the beginning, until you've done work to understand yourself, you have to understand your instrument. You have to understand how your spirit, your ego, everything starts to work. Because if you don't, your ego speaks first and it speaks loudest. So you're going to be following your ego around the world, around your life. I hope that makes sense. So you have to do the work to understand yourself. This is why I do A Course in Miracles. This is what others first. That's why.